host of the Jamie and Genty Show, broadcasting live each week on Tuesday at 12 p.m. from Fishbowl Studios. Log on to hear sports talk from basketball to football and view your feedback on the biggest sports news you want to talk about from around the world. So be sure to log on each week Tuesdays at 12 p.m. to catch the Jamie and Genty Show. Hope to see you soon
on Fishbowl Radio Network.
Jump in. All right, welcome to the Jamie and Genty Show podcast on Fishbowl Radio. My name is Jamie. It's Tuesday, February the 7th, 2023. Oh, man, it's February already. Damn. Well, anyways, we weren't here last week because of the weather up here in Texas. It's kind of weird. So we're here now. So before the end of the show, I have to reveal something. There's going to be a name change, guys. Now, I want to be more authentic, so I'm not going to use my name as much. I'm going to use something a little different today. But that's the end of the show. That'll be around 150-ish. So 150-ish, you will hear it. If you stay, then kudos to you. But before I get into this Cowboys questions, before I bring Gabe in, I want to give a special happy birthday to Cynthia Garcia. Shout out to her husband Ronnie, her kids, and everybody that showed up at the party on Saturday. Thank you for inviting me out. It was a great time. Great night, a great atmosphere. And I do encourage everyone to go. If you're looking for a camp to go to, Camp Gladiator wise, I will recommend you go to Cynthia Garcia's camp. She just started back in October 20th, somewhere around there. And so I recommend there. A lot of positive energy, and she gets the job done. So I just want to send a happy birthday to her. Her birthday was on last Thursday, so I just want to send that out since I was going to push that out on the radio to her. But anyways, before we get into the major news today and throughout the whole last week, I want to get into some Cowboys questions, okay? Now, a lot has happened over the last week and a half. We have a new offensive coordinator. Kellen Moore is in L.A. He's in L.A. for the Chargers. This is more of an upgrade, according to Stephen A. myself, because Justin Herbert is that dude. Justin Herbert is ready. He's ready to take the Chargers to the next level. This is why, and I feel like Kellen's going to expose the Cowboys of what they are missing. And I say that because this team, Kellen was held back a little bit. He was held back from calling the plays, from Jerry and Mike, and not being in his own space, not being able to read the defenses like these coordinators have done. It takes one to do your job. It doesn't take like 3 or 4 voices to help you do your job, even though you deserve that position. Kellen Moore did deserve that position in Dallas, but we didn't give him opportunities like any other coach has done. He goes to L.A. You got a top 10 quarterback. You got top 10 running back. And then you got some receivers on the outside. One of the receivers is a free agent, which I think they're going to resign. And so I just don't I don't like this move. I don't like moving on from Kellen Moore, but we had to make a change. And now Brian Schottenheimer comes in. He was Seattle's coordinator for during Russell Wilson's days, and now he was the consultant for the Cowboys last season on the offensive side. He's the offensive coordinator, but Mike's going to still call the plays. Help me understand that. You're the offensive coordinator, but yet Mike's going to call the plays. This offseason is garbage already. Like, you're just trying to find a way to make yourself relevant. You lose to the 49ers, okay, fine. We saw the two conference games, the AFC and the NFC chunk conference games. You bring down that news, you interrupt our excitement in the conference championship games to bring up that news that Kellen Moore part ways. You could have done that during the week, but you did it to interrupt, to bring everyone's attention. We don't need your attention. Just stay low like these other teams. I haven't heard any other team outside of Dallas, other than hiring head coaches and coordinators, and that's it. Why we got to be in the news 4 or 5 times a day? 4 or 5 times a week over nonsense. Like, the season doesn't start until August, and we're in the news right now. Like, stop this. But back to I just don't get it. First of all, Dak is no Aaron Rodgers. Dak is just Dak Prescott. So Mike McCartney, you're taking a risk by calling the plays. How can you be a coach, argue with the refs, and call the plays at the same time? It cannot be done. It can't be. And now you bring in a guy that's going to be standing on the sidelines. Like, this stuff does not make it up. And he's probably going to be holding that playbook. Standing on the sidelines doing nothing while Mike McCartney is screwing the thing up. Literally. Like, we're not in the 2011s, 2012s of Aaron Rodgers. Like I said, Dak is just Dak Prescott. It's my question would be, is Dak going to improve? Is he going to improve his accuracy? We already know the off the field stuff. We already know that he's dating the LSU chick. Okay, we know that for sure. Okay, you put more energy into finding college girls than your own game itself. This is why I don't have any hope for this team in the off season for the 2023 season. I don't have any hope because you got your quarterback that's eligible for an extension, but yet it's like, okay, what have you shown us lately? The best quarterback that we ever had was Troy Aikman. I'm not even going to say Rome. I'm not going to say Quincy Carter, because those are bad comparisons. Quincy Carter is one of them. That's a bad comparison. I heard someone on the social media say they're comparing Dak to Quincy Carter. I thought that was weird. Both of those guys do not have similar games. But then again, no, I'm not comparing that because that's just weird. But anyways, your quarterback is over here chasing girls, chasing commercials, versus working on your game. That's why everyone in the Metroplex is upset. You have done nothing to deserve what you're getting, Dak. You can sit out, you can complain, you do all that stuff, but I want your energy spent on what you have done off the field. Put that more into your game, please. Now I have Gabe here, and Gabe, welcome to the show, Gabe.
Hey, look, man, I'm just glad to be here. You know, another day. Just glad to be in the service, man. That's
thank you, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now the Cowboys have a new offensive coordinator, and Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah,
I think he's the son of Martin Schottenheimer. What do you expect heading into this next season?
I expect us to be very, very bad. We're going to be a very bad team.
Okay.
I'm just being honest. Like, I don't see. This was the year. This was the year that we were supposed to take that next step, whether it was getting to an NFC Championship game or whatever.
Okay.
This was supposed to be that year. We had we had everything we honestly needed. At least we thought. And for our quarterback to let us down the way that he did.
He did let us down.
I don't have a lot of hope because we're going to have to rely on him for the next couple of years at least. So I think the morale of the team, knowing what Dak is capable of, knowing that we don't have an every down running back at this point.
Yes.
I don't think Tony Pollard is that, and Zeke is definitely not an every down running back.
I have a question about that and coming up.
Yeah, so I think we have a lot of questions that we didn't realize that we had going into this year. And especially getting into this offseason and seeing how they're moving and how they're operating, to me, it's the same routine. They're looking for that wow factor. They're looking for that thing to say. Like Mike McCarthy calling plays didn't need to be announced, as you said. It didn't need to be announced during the playoffs.
No.
We always want the focus on us, whether we're in it or not. And to me, I hate that.
Right.
I actually hate it because we're not even worthy of all of this media time.
We're not.
No, we've been trashed for 30 years. A 30 piece, bro. That's a big, dog. Like,
things have happened over that time,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, we've had a lot of moments and a lot of things that we were like, wow, this is the team. This is the one that's going to get us over the hump. And we've been close. We've been close, a couple plays, a couple mistakes away. And a lot of those mistakes have come at the hands of our quarterback. We haven't had solid quarterback play in 30 years.
Troy Aikman.
That's what I'm saying. So we went from Troy Aikman to whoever the other dude was. In between. Because there was one in between Quincy Carter and Troy.
I can't remember who that person was.
It might have been a couple, actually.
Yeah, it might have been a couple.
I moved to Texas when Quincy Carter was a quarterback.
So that was around 2002, 2003.
Yeah.
So he was worse.
Yeah.
He had a. I remember that. I remember convincingly his career. So his career was like the first 3 seasons was pretty good. He had everything, and then the last 2 in a Cowboys uniform, he fell off.
Yeah,
and so obviously the off-season stuff from there into his career early.
A lot of off the field,
a lot of
stuff going on with Quincy, but
a lot of, and then that brought in that actually brought in Romo.
Drew Bledsoe
first, and then Romo came in.
Yeah, so we haven't had that quarterback that's willing to take us up. We've had a lot of mediocre quarterback play, and I think that's the hardest part about being a fan, is because we're good enough to be in the conversation, but we're not good enough to be able to get over the hump. And I think that's the mind bleep of it all. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that this team is very, very hard to root for, and I'm personally, I'm getting tired. Like, all jokes aside, like, I'm tired.
I understand your frustration.
Yeah.
And I'm frustrated too, to the extent. I do have a question about the quarterback. I look at these quarterbacks. I look at Joe Burrow. I look at Jalen Hurts, especially Jalen Hurts, and Patrick Mahomes. Jalen Hurts went to high school in Houston. He played for his father. Then he goes to Alabama. He was a starter at Alabama 2018, and then Tua came in and took his spot. Okay? Jalen said, fine. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to make sure that's my turn. He had to go to Oklahoma to win the Heisman to get relevant again. That's how he was in. And he waited his turn in the Eagles.
He had an uphill battle. His entire college career, and even in the beginning when he first got to Philly, it's an uphill battle. So
why is it that quarterbacks, we're talking about African American quarterbacks playing in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Why is it that those guys, especially Jalen Hurts, can go work their butts off and that cannot?
Because I'm gonna tell you, we talk about this a lot, but it's the culture of the Dallas Cowboys. It's glitz, glamour, and comfort. Everything about it makes you comfortable. Once you get that money, that's why every time you see somebody in a Cowboys uniform get paid, they start playing like ass. To be frank, like, I'm being honest. Miles Austin, what happened when he got paid?
God, he was awful.
Exactly,
he was awful.
Exactly.
He disappeared when he got paid. He disappeared,
completely disappeared. He started dating Kardashians and everything. And so my point is, My point is, it
what
happens, and that's just one example. I could go down the list, but
it's a long list.
It's a long list of players who get paid and fall off the wagon. And to me, the moment that they paid Dak, you saw that hunger leave.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. I saw it. I saw it. The first. I saw it when he came back
from injury.
Yeah, from injury
he
because
got paid.
I saw it because the first game, right? The first game he was hurt. Then he missed about 5 or 6 more games, and then when he came back, okay, I saw a different side.
Because if we're being honest, his trajectory at the time of that injury was trending up.
Okay,
he was on his way to being a top 10 if he was in the top 10 quarterback at that time. And I think if he continues that trajectory, we're having a different conversation right now. We may be playing on Sunday. Like, honestly, I mean, the difference in us playing in Philly or any of these other teams is our quarterback play.
Right.
Defense primarily did their job.
The whole entire season.
The entire season. Even in the San Francisco game. They did their job.
They did.
You hold a team to 19 points in the NFL, you should be able to win that game. So, to me, the difference is offensively. Like, we have a lot of work to do, and I mean, there's a couple things I would love to shore up on the defensive end of the ball, like our defensive backs specifically.
Yes, I will.
Even with Anthony Brown healthy, Anthony Brown is not great.
He's not going to be healthy till 2024.
And that's my point.
Torn Achilles. Torn Achilles can keep you.
And you're playing a position that heavily relies on that.
And that turning and the twisting. I don't care what the Cowboys, the doctors have said. Like, that is a year injury.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. That like you're not
even when he comes back because he's gonna come back early. He's gonna play like trash, and then he's gonna be getting burnt all over the field, and they're gonna be wondering what's wrong with Anthony Brown.
Because you rushed him.
He's not ready. Like I watched Kobe. And this is an NBA example, but I watched Kobe tear his Achilles and just continue to battle with that from the time he tore it to the time that he retired.
Yeah.
It's not an easy injury to come back from.
It's not.
Especially when you play in a sport or you playing in a position
when you have the
that heavily relies on your movement and your agility.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
To play the corner position with a torn Achilles is insane to me. Like,
that's weird.
I can't even wrap my mind around that.
You can't. You can, because most guys, like I said, are out for like a year. I saw this online. Torn Achilles last 7 to 8 months, versus a torn ACL is like 6 months. So, but still, like that is the recovery time, because you still got to go into physical therapy and do all those things to get back to 110%.
Exactly.
Which Anthony Brown will not be. In 2024, he will be, but...
And I can't speak to his work ethic, too, because the thing about it, even when somebody, like, again, using the Kobe example, Kobe's a workaholic. He came back from that injury in about 5 to 6 months. Yeah. Which is probably too soon, but at the same time, he was able to do that because he's a workaholic.
Yes.
I don't know if Anthony Brown has a work ethic that would bring him back before that time table.
Someone would have to. It's all in the mindset. It's all on the player's mindset. If the player cares about the game so much, then he will do the work to come back. Whether it's before or next season. And so,
but I'm gonna
do that work.
I'm gonna tell you, I don't give a damn. I mean, honestly, like, Anthony Brown is not great anyway. So that's my thing. Like, I wish they would just invest in corners. Like, I've never seen them go out and invest in a defensive back. Not since Deion. Like, and that was a trade. Like,
yeah, damn. That's a long time ago.
That's what I'm saying. If you could go get a like Jalen Ramsey wants to leave. I don't know if people know that or not. He doesn't want to. He's on the market.
Well, in this age, Gabe, players, when they want to leave, they get their wish, right?
Exactly.
And so that type of player, I would get.
That's what I'm saying.
I will attack heavily, because I feel like he's still in his prime. He's still one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
I will go after him.
I would too. And that's my thing. I don't think they will.
It goes to my
I don't
next
think
point.
they will.
It goes to my next point. My next point is we got to attack free agency. Free agency is between March 13th and the 15th. So that's that's a month from now.
Yeah.
We have to attack it. We got to get some of our guys signed. And then, like you said, Jalen Ramsey. Too many
That's going to
Jalen's.
have to be a trade, though, because he's under contract
Trade.
still. And so,
God.
but he's not happy with the situation in LA with the quarterback. They know they're not going to win anything anytime soon.
I don't think anybody's happy with the quarterback and what's the Rams.
I mean, it's even deeper than quarterback. It's just a lot of injury stuff. They got a lot of stuff. They got a mess over there. Sean McVay is gone now.
Oh, he's gone now?
I don't know if he officially left.
No, he has. He's
decided to stay. 'Cause the last thing I heard, he was like considering.
He's staying.
Okay,
He's staying for the most part.
got you. Okay, I remember that because there was a report. The reason why I brought that up is because there was a report that said that he was considering like
Leaving.
retiring or leaving.
He's staying. He's like what? Almost. He's 38 years old. He's staying.
Yeah, okay.
He's staying.
Well, regardless, they got a mess. So he's ready to. He's trying to find his way out, and he might make his way back to Jacksonville.
He might.
Which would be a
God.
bad situation.
Oh God. Yeah, talk about going back.
But he's looking for a way out, but we'd have to trade, and I don't see that happening.
Well, you got to understand that Tom Brady's coming in, and Tom Brady is not going to start the Fox job till 2024. So I did hear that report too, but I do think he's going to stay because of Tom Brady. He was thinking this was like a couple of weeks back when the season ended. Tom Brady was going to take that job right away, but as of yesterday, he's going to take that job next off season, which is going to be 2024. So the broadcast team, Greg Olsen and Kevin Burkhardt. Greg Olsen's there for probably about another year. If I'm Greg Olsen, I leave now.
Greg Olsen needs to leave.
I leave now.
I think I don't like Greg Olsen. I'm not a Greg Olsen fan. I think he's like my least favorite commentator.
I think he's
horrible. He sucks. And I'm just being honest. He's not good.
He's not.
He always sounds like he's whining.
Right. It's just too much. Like when
say it with your chest. I'm sick of this now. You got
nobody outside. Nobody says it was their chest anymore. No one.
I miss John Madden.
There's a couple.
Man.
There's a couple.
I miss John Madden.
I miss him too.
I miss him
a lot. I miss him a lot because we need guys like him.
Yeah.
And
Tony Romo is the next up though.
Oh man, Tony Romo's
he's fantastic.
He's fantastic, but he had an awful season. He had an awful season this year.
Do you think so?
That's what the report said.
Yeah,
he's good, but people want him out.
Really?
Yeah, because there was a game he was doing the AFC Championship game, and there was a play where somebody was coming in from the outside. I can't remember the player. It three Cincinnati Bengals. He almost dropped the N-word. That's what made the news. So it went from almost dropping the N-word to we need to have an intervention. CBS were saying, "Hey man, we had the best ratings in the world. You gotta step it up." Now I wish stories would be more honest. You know what I'm saying? Like if you had an intervention with Romo, then you had an intervention with him. You saw your ratings plummet this year. Just tell the man, hey, we need you more focused on football, because he wasn't looking at the matchups like we were doing, and so that's why they had that intervention with him.
So he almost said the N-word.
Yeah, it was on. He is on Twitter and YouTube and all that stuff. Like you just look it up, and he almost dropped it up. Like it was three Cincinnati. Kansas City was running like a in route. The guy was coming from the outside. He saw three Cincinnati Bengals there, and he almost dropped it. Almost.
Wait, so I just
It almost.
wait a minute. So I just need some context, like, because I just don't understand how that. Where does that even come from? Like, what made him even almost say that in that moment?
I don't even know
Because it
I don't
doesn't.
even
From
know.
what I'm hearing, it doesn't make sense. Like, I didn't get a chance to watch that game.
Yeah.
I like was kind of watching like play by play and all of that, but I didn't get a chance to watch it.
It is on Twitter.
So,
That the one play that someone pointed out.
because this sounds like some social media stuff that they conjured up. You know how they like they try to make people like, I don't know how to explain it, but
Yeah.
I feel like social media has a way of misconstruing things
Probably so.
for a certain narrative because they want entertainment.
Right.
So I don't want to. I don't want to just jump because I'm the first one that'll be opposed to somebody almost saying the N-word.
Right.
But to me, I don't even know where that would come from.
Right.
Like,
no, I don't.
I don't
mean,
know what would lead you to even say that.
I mean, you. I mean, I don't know.
Because
I don't know. It's
It's
because
probably one of them situations where he misspoke or something like that. Like,
it was a little bit of both.
yeah,
I would say that he's not. I mean, the thing about it is, going to the social media stuff, they want people out. Like, for example, for the longest time, they want Chris Collinsworth out at NBC.
I can't stand Chris Collinsworth.
Only because of his voice and this type of things that he says is not football related. Like the things that he draws, he's trying to be like a Madden, but no one's going to be like a Madden. And so he's trying to boost. We know what he's doing. He's trying to boost his ratings. And like I said, if you had like a more, who would I want? Like a guy who just played the game, like a younger version. Like a guy that just retired, like Greg Olsen just retired.
Yeah,
Like he didn't. You noticed that he didn't go to broadcasting school or listen to what the Fox executives were teaching him.
nope.
That's why he's failing.
I'm
That's why.
starting to realize that tight ends may not make good commentators.
No.
Because Jason Witten, they got Jason Witten.
Oh, no.
That's so cool.
ESPN. Yeah, only because of the name. ESPN went with the name instead of the voice.
Yeah, like Jason Witten was putting everybody to sleep, and it was like, Jason, you gotta go. I think he only did like what, 5 games?
Yeah, he only did 5 games. And like when you're sitting close to the announcer,
Yeah,
the main person, that's when you know you're struggling.
yeah.
Like you're not sitting closer just to sit close. You're sitting there just to make the person next to you understand what you're talking about.
Right, exactly.
And so, I don't know. I don't know where I would go with that. But if I'm Greg Olsen, I would get out now. Like knowing that a Hall of Famer is going to take your job next year.
Yeah,
Like unless something tragically happens, if he does come back.
but I'm very interested in what Tom Brady would be like on the air too, because he's so boring to me. Like
He is.
he's boring as
He
hell.
is. I'm like-
his personality doesn't lead me
is
to
boring.
think that he would be great at that. Like even the way he gave his little retirement speech on Instagram, I was like, oh, okay, like
That's how you're going to
that's how you
sound on the
talk.
air?
It's like, yeah, guys,
I need more excitement.
I'm retiring for
I
good.
need more excitement. I'm like, dude, that's not gonna work.
He's like, I'm serious this time.
No. You know what's funny? When I saw that, I said no. It gives me an itch that he's still gonna play.
It's giving Brett Favre.
Yeah, it's like giving Brett Favre. It's like if he were to go into the draft right. And if the Buccaneers or the 49ers or any other team that doesn't go for a quarterback in the first 2 rounds, he might crush somebody else's dreams. He might crush the players that have been sitting on their couches for 3 days waiting to get drafted. There comes the Tom Brady announcement. I feel like that's going to happen. I want to be wrong.
I don't think he's coming back. I think he's been through enough.
Yeah.
I think he got hit in the mouth enough. I think, like he doesn't.
You sure?
Like, I think he's done for real. Like in all seriousness.
Okay.
I think that knowing all that he's been through over the last year, knowing that his team sucked, knowing that
sucked in that division,
knowing that he really just doesn't have it in him anymore to carry another team or to start over.
Right.
So I really do think that he's done this time. And that's why he even accepted the offer from CBS because
Fox.
Fox.
Is
Fox?
it Fox? 300. Yeah, it's Fox. It's Fox. It's 10 years, $375 million.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why he even accepted that offer because I think he's really focused on him right now, like, and just kind of getting out of the game and trying to find his next move. And so, you know, I wish him the best. I hope.
Yeah, I hope so.
I really hope that it works out at Fox. I'm just very interested because he's such a boring person to me. Yeah, like it's just the person, like his the way that he interacts, the way that
they just hire anybody.
Yeah,
like in this age, they just
hire anybody with a name because it equals rating. Exactly. And you know what's gonna happen because it's Tom Brady, him being the greatest ever. It's like one of those things where automatically you're gonna get a demographic of people you may not have normally got. Because they want to hear what that sounds like. They want to see. Right. They want to be a part of his first game that he commentates.
You're probably going to get at least maybe 18, 25, one of those demographics.
Yeah. I mean, anybody that's between the ages of, I mean, I don't even want to say 18 because 18 is young, but anybody that's between the ages of 21 and 35 right now is a Tom Brady, has watched Tom Brady his entire career, primarily. And 21 might be a stretch too, but you get the point. Yeah. You get the point that I'm saying. Right. Like they've seen a lot of his career, and they have a connection to Tom Brady. So you're gonna get a demographic of people that you probably wouldn't normally get.
Right.
It's going. I mean, you'll get a larger number of that demographic.
You probably, man, he's gonna kill those ratings.
Yeah,
he's gonna kill it. Yeah, it's just. But then again, it's gonna be the boring Tom Brady.
But then again, he may have more personality than we know about. We may may just have not seen it. Like, because I thought the same thing about Kobe.
Kobe?
Yeah, like Kobe. I always thought Kobe's personality wasn't outside of the rap stuff,
right?
And the stuff.
Kobe
had more personality outside of basketball, but even within that, I felt like he was a very structured person,
right?
And so when he got in his post career and started doing in film and writing children's books and all that kind of stuff, I was like, wow, like he's actually like a good, coaching. Like a cool guy. Like I feel like Kobe is cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Recipes to Kobe. I've been talking about Kobe a lot.
Recipes to Kobe. Yes, thank you. But yeah, I feel like for me personally, man, I don't know. I want to believe it. When we get to the draft, then I will actually say, you know what? It's done for real. It's done for real. Like, but I don't know. I mean, I'm interested to see what he does in this, not only at Fox, but only the rest of this year.
Yeah. He'll be chilling. He's going to be on the beach. He just probably wanted to take a year off. From everything and just be at peak because bro, you've been through an entire divorce, you've been through a rough season,
and speaking of that, I want him to get back with Gisele. It's gonna be tough. Hold on, it's gonna be tough. Hear me out. Gisele was with the jiu-jitsu guy. You heard that?
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're still together or not, because she's been on the down low lately. But I wouldn't be surprised if they get back because they have a beautiful family.
Boo. Boo. No, I'm just joking. Look, this is not a relationship show.
It is not. It's not.
I just think that
it weighed heavily on his career. Well, not on this season. On this season, it weighs heavily. That's what we're talking about right now. But go ahead.
I don't know. That's none of my business. Their business is none of my business. But I will say, personally, I don't do well with ultimatums.
Okay.
And when you make an ultimatum public, and it's something that like everybody in the world knows about, that doesn't sit right with me. And I probably would have went back and played another year too. off the strength that you told me, no, you're not doing this, or I'm gone. Okay, deuces. Don't play with me like that. I don't like. That's a control mechanism, and I don't like that. But separate point, I don't care what they do. That's their business. From a football perspective, I will say it did weigh heavily on him, and you can see it
on this past season.
Yeah, this season it was a lot of his personal life that was being
documented.
It was kind of holding him back from some of the greatness that we're used to seeing, and I think he felt that. Like, I think it was a lot of pressure on him to succeed in Tampa. I think it was a lot of pressure on his household. It was a lot of pressure, just across the board. And I think it wasn't worth it. Like, when you look at the end result, y'all lost to us. We suck. Like,
we definitely suck. we suck definitely.
Like, we was the last game you played.
God. And
we beat y'all by 25 points.
Oh my God!
So I just
and we send them to retirement like that.
That's when you know that it's over, though. When you lose to the Cowboys in the playoffs, it's over for you. Your career's over.
Right?
Is this?
You made a joke about when it's over. That is over.
I'm telling you, it's over. It's over, and it's okay. And so, I hope they figure out their life and they get it together and do whatever makes y'all happy. It's none of my business. I don't care. Y'all celebrities, y'all got problems.
And they can fix their problems.
And that's on y'all to fix
the easiest.
It's not my job to critique y'all relationships and y'all life.
Right. Not
all I talk about is sports, bro.
I just, like I said, she's a model. And and I do look at not only the sports aspect, I look at his career as well. What would be beneficial for him? Like I said, they have access to everything, and I hope whatever works. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. So I do wish him well. I do wish him well. Hopefully he'll take the year off to go work on things and go, do Tom Brady things that he's never done before.
So is Tom Brady your GOAT? Is he the greatest?
Oh, absolutely. Hands down. Because you got to be committed. Wait a minute. Hold on. Time out. Hold on. Are you talking about football or are you talking about GOAT overall?
Quarterback. The quarterback position.
Oh, man, golly.
Because I can't do overall. I hate when people do that. There is no overall greatest player of all time. So
that's tough. That's a good question, though. God, that's so many quarterbacks, man.
I think it's a two-man race.
Oh, my God.
Between Brady and Joe Montana. And
that's tough, man.
It's tough, but when I think about it from just a quarterback perspective, just play on the field.
And both of those guys were committed to their careers.
Both of them were very committed.
The biggest thing, and you know what's funny is that when we give guys, when guys, especially in football, they retire before the age of 30, and we can't consider them the GOAT. And some people want to consider them the GOAT because they made their decision before the age of 30. Tom Brady, hands down, is the GOAT.
I have to agree with you, and I think, but I'm a little biased because I saw Brady from, like, I saw his entire career.
Me too.
Joe Montana, I wasn't alive to see. Like,
I didn't see. Well, I was a child when Joe Montana was. It was the later part of his career that I saw. I remember watching Brady, the first Super Bowl, at a friend's house when I was 14 years old, birthday party, and that's when I didn't know Brady then, and then when 9 years down the road, I said, man, you know what? Okay.
I remember because they played the Rams.
That was 2020. Sorry, 2001. Yeah, I was at
played the Rams.
I was at a friend's house.
I was sick. I hated it. I hated every moment of it. Because, like, I was living in St. Louis. Like, we were Rams fans growing up.
That's right.
So I one of my church, Aeneas Williams was one of my church members, and he's like a friend of the family. Like,
Right.
I was very closely tied to the Rams at that time. Like Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, Kurt Warner, Marshall Falk, like
You have everything.
Orlando Pace. We had,
Oh my gosh.
like it was just a beautiful, it was a perfect team.
Starting lineup.
And we're gonna act like Spygate didn't happen, I guess. So the first one, I'm like, all right, y'all cheated, but it's cool. Like it's cool. You got that. Hold that one down. Because to me, I give Brady 6 championships, right?
Okay.
Well, actually,
you don't need to count the 7. Oh,
Actually,
that's right.
5.
You okay.
I give him 5.
Okay. I give.
He got 8 total, right?
He's got 7.
7?
He's got 7 total.
Okay, then
He's
I
got
give him.
6 was the Patriots and 1 was the Buccaneers.
Got you. So Spygate, I don't count.
Okay, so
Deflategate,
you.
Don't
5.
count.
Okay.
And also that win against Seattle,
Yes.
don't count because Pete Carroll lost that game.
2014.
That was
Yeah, that's 2014.
14.
Yeah, that's 2014. Cause
That's 3 of them that he should have lost.
yes. So that's 4.
And truthfully, I ain't gonna be no hater because I was never a Tom Brady fan, right? I was never a Brady fan.
I was never a Tom Brady
I have a
fan.
lot of respect, and I have to call the spade a spade. Like, he is the greatest to ever do it. At least the greatest that I've personally ever seen. And so, yeah, like I think that if I'm being honest, and this is gonna sound like I'm a hater, but there's 3 of those championships that I don't give him. Because he didn't win them. Like that's the thing. Like, his defense won them, or
He did. Their defense won one of those championships.
yeah.
Man, for me,
And then they cheated for 2 other ones. But
they did. I feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
I think. Back to your Torrey Holt point. Torrey Holt got a championship.
yeah,
Or no? He
yeah,
has a championship already.
he does. He won 98
That's right.
or 99.
99. Yeah. Tennessee.
Yeah.
Okay. He has a championship. Okay, so he should be in the Hall of Famer then. Why are they robbing him of the Hall of Fame? Why is it taking this man? The man retired in 2007, I think.
Yeah, he retired in 06, 07, something like that.
Okay, so that's what, 15 years.
Yeah.
For 15 to 16 years, you're robbing this man out of the Hall of Fame? He should be there already.
But they have a wide receiver backlog. Because do you think that he should be in before Chad Johnson?
He should be in. He should be in before Chad Johnson. Yes.
Statistically,
Yes.
I don't think so. I disagree.
Why?
Because statistically, Chad Johnson is one of the top 10 receivers in the NFL history based upon numbers. Now, he don't have a championship. He don't have some of the other stuff.
No, I mean, I feel like Torrey Holt should have been in there already.
I do agree that Torrey Holt should have been in there.
He's robbed.
Trust
They're
me.
robbing him.
I watched him. Like, that was one of the first receivers that I ever like really paid attention to. Him and Isaac Bruce. So
The tandem.
yeah, it was. I'm telling you, it was Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, and Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne in Indianapolis.
How about this? What'd you think of Ricky Pohl, the tight end?
Yeah.
I got you there, right?
You did.
Ricky Pohl. Yeah.
That was a nostalgic moment. Thank you for that.
No problem.
But yeah, that was such a great scene. The Greatest Show on Turf teams were like, that was my introduction to football. Like, as a little kid, like, that's what I got to see.
Yes.
So I'll always have a special place in my heart for that.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The first championship was my introduction to. Actually, whether you hate him or not, he's a little shaky to me. John Gruden was my introduction to football because of the Tampa Bay defenses.
And that was Tony Dungy's team. We're not gonna act like.
I'm sorry. Hold on. Never mind. Tony Dungy. Okay.
I mean, well,
no.
John Gruden won the championship.
He won the championship.
But Tony Dungy put that team together.
He did. So I actually, you know what? I'm gonna give both those guys credit because I always love defense, right? I always love, Tampa Bay. The Tampa 2 is my favorite defensive play ever, and they ran it to perfection.
And John Lynch was one of my favorite
Oh my God.
safeties of all time.
He not only just a great safety, but a great front office guy.
Yeah.
Derek Brooks, the linebacker Warren Sapp, the quarterback Brad Johnson,
Rondé Barber,
oh my gosh, you could just like
Cadillac Williams,
oh my gosh.
Keyshawn.
I mean, it's like those were the best teams.
Yeah, honestly, that era of football, that early 2000s era of football, is my favorite. Like, you got Michael Vick in Atlanta, you got a young Ray Lewis in Baltimore in 2000. Like, with,
oh my gosh,
with an older veteran Shannon Sharp, you got like Trent Dilfer as your quarterback,
tight end in the world.
Yeah,
hands down.
You got Steve McNair in Tennessee,
Eddie George to run back.
George, like it was just such a different time. Pittsburgh, you got
Jerome Bettis,
you got Troy Polamalu, like
Ben
Hines
Roethlisberger.
Ward, Ben Roethlisberger, like that was my era of football. Like that was my favorite. Still to this day, can't nobody tell me nothing about the early 2000s.
I always liked the flashbacks of 2000s because that's my favorite too. And
it was still physical, but that athleticism, like similar to today, was there.
Right.
So you had the balance of both, and it was a lot of injuries, but it was a lot of hard hits. Like those matches, like Sean Taylor in the Pro Bowl.
Oh my gosh!
Like I'll never forget that because I was like, dog, it's the Pro Bowl. Like chill. Like you gotta relax. He was wilding. Like
that's when you know. That's when you know you have. That's when you know it's legendary.
Yeah,
that era was legendary.
It was different. It was just a different energy. Brian Dawkins in Philly.
Oh my gosh,
Donovan McNabb, T.O. Like
the healthy Donovan McNabb.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
I'm telling you, that's my favorite era of football.
Mine too. Mine too.
Even though the Cowboys was trash.
Yeah, they were
that entire era.
Bill Parcells out of there. And then, you went for Sean Payton was your offensive coordinator. He takes a job at
New
Orleans and then he leaves New Orleans for a year and then he rests and then he goes to Denver. So
and then once he went back to New Orleans, that's post hurricane. So now you got an inspired culture,
right?
That you just got to cultivate. Now you got Deuce McAllister in the backfield and Reggie Bush, Drew Brees,
Joe Horn.
Who was the receiver? Marcus Colston. Was he there? At that time?
He was a rookie.
He was young.
It was Joe Horn was the receiver.
Defense was crazy. I don't even remember.
I can't remember.
Darren Sharper.
Defense.
Darren Sharper was on that team.
Football. Darren Sharper.
Yeah. I mean, solely talking about football.
It just brings you the moments of the game itself, and so yeah,
that was a safety heavy league at that time.
It was
because you got to think like Darren Sharper. You got Charles Woodson who was playing safety at that time. You got in Green Bay.
I thought he was cornerback.
He was a corner, but he was playing safety in Green Bay.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Because him and Al Harris would,
Al Harris was playing cornerback.
Al Harris was playing corner, and they had another corner on the other side. I forgot who it was.
Sam Shields?
Yes. That's exactly who it was.
Yeah, he was. I don't blame him. I saw a story. It was like I said, I look at stories. It was like, I think it was about a month or 2 months ago where he regretted playing football because of the head injuries. But then again, he was a hard hitting cornerback.
Yeah.
Like that
was the nature of the league too. Yeah. Like at that time, you had to hit as a corner. It wasn't because the running backs were going crazy. Like you got Adrian Peterson, Maurice Jones-Drew, Fred Taylor. You got, like I could go to Joseph Adai in Indiana.
You just name the whole list.
Eddie George, it's.
They were built differently.
You had to really, really know how to hit.
Brandon Jacobs.
Oh my God, Tiki Barber.
They were bigger backs.
Brian Westbrook.
You said physical backs in that league, and that's why you can't say you regretted it because you had to hit.
Yeah,
and so
physicality was different. Ed Reed, which that's another conversation. He
got screwed, but anyways,
that's an interesting.
That's an interesting thing. Yeah, he got screwed at that school.
It's a little bit of. I mean, he brought some of that on himself too. He did.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Just a little bit.
Especially
I heard that whole
post,
entire speech.
especially post leaving Bethune-Cookman. Like he brought a lot of that on himself.
He did.
But
And he died.
they do have a mess at BCU.
I saw that. I heard about that.
They have a mess over there.
They need to clean it up.
And I think all that him vocalizing what was going on, even though he did it in a tasteless fashion to me.
Really? Because he did it in front of people. He did it in front of the children. He did it in front of the parents and the students.
He did it on social media from a golf cart. So he's driving around the school grounds in a golf cart,
I didn't see that
recording
one.
all of the stuff that's wrong
I
with the
didn't see
university.
that. I didn't see that.
Yeah, so that's what
I
I'm
just
saying.
heard it. I
I
didn't see
think
that
to
one.
me that is extremely tasteless. And when you know what HBCUs are up against, you can't operate like that.
You can't. And
You can't do that because it's gonna be at a detriment to the school. BCU needs at least 2,400 students to stay profitable. That if they don't have that, then their university won't be a university anymore. They won't have that. So the importance of HBCUs are huge because it's our outlet. That's our space.
Right.
That's the places where if you don't feel seen, you can go be seen amongst your own people.
At HBCU, and you know they're on the come up.
Yeah.
Because of Prime.
Exactly.
And so I didn't see that part. I only saw the press conference where he did it in a classroom setting.
Yeah.
It was in front of parents and the students where he made a very passionate speech about why they didn't give him the job, why they decided to move on from him. And you know what's funny? We have former athletes, especially in the NFL, coaching HBCU, and I thought it'll make a difference. Them not going with Ed Reed, but going with somebody else that had no NFL experience.
Yeah.
That's pretty pretty tasteless to me.
I understand where you're coming from on that. But I also understand their perspective. Because to me, yes, there's a lot of stuff here to fix. Right. We know it. The students here know it.
But the students can't fix it.
The students can't do anything. Like, I don't think people understand what lack of money causes. Like, when you don't have finances to make changes, you can't make changes. And so that's why Deion had to go get all of these donors and people to come in so that they could build that athletic center.
He had to
do that.
He had to get money out of his own pocket to make sure that Jackson State was good.
And to me, Ed Reed is flawed in this situation because if it's really about the kids, you're going to do everything in your power to make sure that those kids are good, regardless of it, because you have to have a heart for the HBCU. It's bigger than just solely you and your coaching job.
Right.
You have to have a heart for these students. So to me, it seemed very, very ego-driven.
Yeah.
Because you wanted that pat on the back that Deion got.
Right.
And so that's my perspective. I do think that there's truth on both sides because I don't think BCU handled that correctly either.
Right.
I don't think that getting him out of there was the answer because it automatically turns all of the attention on what are y'all doing with all this money.
Right. And it turns the attention to the environment at BCU.
Yeah.
And you have to understand, if you want to be not in the limelight, you got to do things behind closed doors.
Yeah.
What Ed Reed exposed everything. What he did was like, okay, if you're going, you're not, first of all, you're not a Prime. You're not going to build everything from scratch. If you really want to come into a HBCU, you got to build that.
And that's the problem.
You can help. You need a little bit of assistance. Everybody, what you do, you need a little bit of assistance, right?
Yeah.
You're Ed Reed. You played over 10 years in the NFL. You had some assistants getting you to the NFL. So if you're going to coach at HBCU, which is poorly funded, you need to bring your own people to help you out.
And that's my point. Because like I said, if it's really about those kids, in this situation, not just the kids that you recruited, the kids that are there, the kids that don't even play sports, the kids that are just on the campus having to sleep in moldy dorms.
Right.
Like to
That's
me,
disgusting.
Like to me, bro, I got all of these resources. I got a lot of people that I'm bringing to the table. If I'm in his position, I got a lot of resources.
And you bring
I got people that I'm
way.
bringing to the table because it's bigger than me.
Right.
Your mission when you go into an HBCU, it has to be bigger than you. You can't go in there thinking that you go into a Power 5 school where they got all the resources there. It's not realistic.
It's not.
And so him doing that the way that he did it, that's why I say what I say, because it's not about the kids, it's about you.
Exactly.
And you can clearly see you mad because your office wasn't ready.
Dude, okay.
That's fine. I get it. They should have had that ready. They should have had all of that stuff. But in the event that they don't, why does the public need to know that?
We don't need to know that, bro. Like you could have privately came up to them and said, hey, that is not ready. Here's my list of rules. Here's what I can bring in. Who can I bring in? Because like I said, coaches helped you get to the NFL, or trainers help you get to where you need to go. If those kids sacrifice, players on the team, if you're not on the team, they sacrifice to be there because of, it could be living situations, or it could be they just want to go to the school. Some people stay there because they like the environment, they like their friends, and all that stuff. They don't care about what type of living environment it is.
In HBCUs, they kind of cultivate a family atmosphere regardless of what the conditions are.
Right.
Because
exactly.
a lot of times, like, we bond over just being us and being around us.
Exactly.
Like every time you see a group of us together, it looks the same as it would on the HBCU. It's a family feeling.
It would be. It's a family.
Regardless of whether these people know each other or not. I've been on HBCU campuses not knowing nobody. Right. Went to parties, had a great time, and it was literally just like I was around my family members. So that's the cool. Appealing part of
that's good.
In HBCU. And so for somebody like Ed Reed, regardless of the situation, if you're really there to make a difference, it doesn't have to be loud. That's why I do appreciate Deion, because although he was a little louder than most, he did do a documentary. He did do all of these things.
He had cameras all over.
He had camera crews
all over.
But that brought up a different level of exposure, and he did it in a way that wasn't malicious and trying to tear down the campus or the entire HBCU appeal.
It wasn't that type.
So it's the difference in energy. It's literally the difference in energy. I think that Ed Reed should have taken some time and really just sat with the board of trustees, sat with all of the people and say, here's what I'm trying to do at this school. I want to make a difference. Right. I see the vision here. I see what this school could be. Right. So let's take it there.
Right. And that's
the difference in mentality.
That's any coach.
Yeah.
Whether you played in the NFL or not. That's any coach in that space. If you're coaching, that's anywhere. Yeah. Only like for example, I'm pretty sure Deion, Coach Prime gave Colorado what they expected of him. That's why they hired him. Yeah. Because of that. So he didn't plan this out. No. He didn't. It's unfortunate, but Ed, you can't complain. When you have an opportunity, you can't complain that you didn't do your due diligence. You could have said, "This is my plan. If you're gonna follow it, we're gonna follow it. If not, then I'm gonna go elsewhere."
And I think people like Reggie Theus, who is the athletic director at
he's an athlete.
He's a former athlete,
former NBA player.
And I think there is a lot. Too. I think a lot of this stuff, like I said, is ego driven. Even the way that BCU handled it on their end, because Reggie Theus is the athletic director. There is a sense of there's definitely a sense of like just ego-driven stuff happening at that school.
Right.
Because Reggie Theus is looking at it like, oh, like you gonna come in here and do X, Y, Z because you played in the NFL, you one of the greatest safeties to ever play, all this other stuff. And Reggie Theus didn't have that type of career in the NBA.
He did not.
He was a decent player. He wasn't Michael
He
Jordan.
was just a role player.
But when you're talking about Ed Reed coming there, the whole tone changes. Everything, the energy changes.
Right.
So now he probably feeling the type of way. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna make an example out of you. The moment Ed Reed did what he did, he's like, all right, bet I'm gonna make an example out of you.
I mean, he like I said, he did it in front of students and the parents in a classroom setting. I don't know where that classroom was at. First of all, it was a poor setting, and second of all, I felt the passion in his voice. And he wanted that job, but then again, what you're saying and what we're both saying is he didn't plan it out.
No.
And so
And I don't even think it's about a plan. I think it's about
His image.
It's ego. It's 100% ego driven. Because if it wasn't about his ego, the conversation wouldn't have been about Ed Reed losing his job.
Well, what about sacrifice?
He still would have been. What did he sacrifice? He was there for 2 days.
Deion, no, I'm talking about when Deion took the Jackson State job, he sacrificed.
Yeah,
he sacrificed his own fame to help the kids out.
Exactly.
So what I'm saying is, you have to sacrifice something. Ed Reed, like you went to the Hall of Fame, you played 10 years in the NFL or longer than that. That's fabulous. That's great. But you have to sacrifice, because you know why? Because these guys are poorly funded. They want to go to the games. You got to make it affordable to go to the games. Like, it's not that bad. For example, like I go to UNT's football games all the time. They make it affordable, right? And so when you have in that space, when you're not FAU, you're not Florida State, you're not even Florida. You're just a small town in Florida. You have to you have to sacrifice something. You got to sacrifice.
And I don't want to say that he wouldn't have did that, but from looking at it, I feel that he got in there with the intention of making a difference. He didn't know all that entailed.
Right.
I don't think he really knew what conditions he was getting himself into, what he would have to completely rebuild.
They would never tell him that.
They wouldn't tell him that, and I get it, because in the eyes of a lot of HBCU alumni and people who work for the schools and the presidents and all of that, their school is perfect.
Okay, so
And that's the thing, because there's so much pride in that HBCU. That's the difference between HBCUs and PWIs. Like, there's a different level of pride in that school. And I think that regardless of what the conditions were, Ed Reed should have handled that different. And the reason why he didn't handle it different was because he was driven by his ego. It was not... It had nothing to do with helping the school. It had nothing to do with helping these kids. You don't do that if you're trying to help people. That's not how you move.
You don't.
You fly under the radar and you handle business. You go have these meetings with the board. You go tell these people what your issues are. You try to go find the donors to fix the things that they can't afford to fix.
Exactly.
So that's the difference.
Everywhere
that's
you go,
the difference.
bro.
We can't keep... We put Deion on a pedestal, but there were some things that Deion didn't even do properly.
Isn't.
I mean, he did an amazing job. Don't get me wrong.
He did.
He put the spotlight on all HBCUs. It wasn't just about Jackson State.
He put him on ESPN. He got College Game Day to come. Like, for example, like my only issue is that they put College Game Day. That game against Southern, they put that on ESPN Plus. That to me is disappointing on both parts. Because you know why? Because I don't like when HBCU games like that when you finally get a College Game Day to come to your campus, which is very rare. They go to Tennessee, they go to Texas, they go everywhere. These bigger schools that have the cash. But yet you go to ESPN Plus. That makes no sense to me. Like the best bet for me, if you're not going to be on ESPN, if you're not going to be on Fox, if you're not going to be on NBC, at least be on one of these local channels in the Metroplex.
No, I get that. I mean,
I
stopped expecting ESPN to do right a long time ago.
They haven't done it right.
They don't get anything right. Like from. I'm gonna leave it at that because I could go really deep on that. That'll take us to a whole nother conversation.
It's a longer,
but
deep.
I don't have the faith in ESPN to do anything right. Jamel Hill and Michael Smith should still be on the air,
hands down.
Like because
hands down.
I mean, Carrie Champion should still be there.
Yes.
If you were gonna move right, if you were gonna move properly, then you.
There's a lot.
They don't move right. I'll just leave it there.
It's a lot.
I'll leave it there because ESPN is like a really sore spot for me. Like I'm not an ESPN fan at all. Like I don't support much that they do and the decisions that they make.
It's softer decisions. Is I think what I notice, and we can go deeper on that. But what I notice from ESPN is all their shows are taking a step back from the sports talk. Like, for example, I watch First Take.
Yeah.
And anytime, and I love Molly Quorum, I love Stephen A. I like the rotational guys that they do. I like it from Michael Irvin on Mondays to Ryan Clark or Dan Orlovsky. But on Wednesdays I like it because they have Chris Mad Dog talking baseball. But what I notice is that they're taking a step back from sports talk. You know what I'm saying? Like arguing. Like when Stephen A gets into his feels, arguing about Kyrie. Yesterday was Jay Williams. I noted, and this is like previous arguments that they had, and it's not with Jay Williams, but other places, other people. It almost like they're convincing Molly Quorum in her ear, you got to move on. When Stephen A gets to talking and arguing, we got to move on.
Yeah.
And
they're trying to keep it too tame for me.
To me, it's like
I don't like that.
If you're big everywhere, you have to keep the sports talk. You got to keep it going because we want to hear extra stuff. Like you're worried about what social media is going to say about you. That's what ESPN is doing right now. That's what Molly Quorum. And honestly, it's not her fault. I thought she was just interrupting. And
I'm going to tell you, bro, I think that with ESPN being a Disney company, it's an extension of Disney. So Disney is all about complete inclusion and all of this stuff, and they don't want to offend anybody, and they're very...
You're not offending anybody. The only thing that you're offending...
That's the thing. Like, they don't realize that honesty is not offensive. It's honest.
No, and the only thing that you're offending is the actors and actress in their later years.
Yeah,
in their later years.
And I think that's the culture that we live in. Like Disney is a company that leans towards the culture that we're in right now. Like we're in the space of everybody being so sensitive and walking on eggshells with everything that they say, and I think it's getting out of hand.
It just turns it off.
It's getting completely out of hand, and I totally get you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. You don't want to offend people. I'm not one of those people either. But the thing about it, I do think that we should be able to be honest about the topic. It's sports, bro. Like at the end of the day,
we don't have any other sports shows.
Yeah, like I don't like Skip and Shannon. I hate watching them.
No,
because they hate each other. And
they do. Clearly, they
clearly
do.
See it.
Clearly, they do.
Like
clearly, and that show will honestly be off the air before you know it.
It definitely will be off the air
before you know
year
it.
Or two. I'm predicting that for sure.
I'm going to say this upcoming season, they're off the air.
I wouldn't be surprised.
This upcoming season. So Shannon might have to. Oh yeah, Shannon will be great at ESPN.
Yeah,
Just imagine putting him full time with
Shannon would never go to ESPN because of the politics associated with ESPN. Like,
true.
There's certain people that will never go to ESPN because they don't play the politic game. They just don't.
True.
Stephen A. is willing to grin and be
because they
buddy
so
with all because they paid him a grip.
They pay him so much they tell him what to do.
If they pay me $30 million, I'll sit up there and smile and curse and
not even and hold back.
Yeah, I'll sit up there
and
and
talk
just,
trash about Kyrie.
Yeah,
which we'll talk about that in the next break.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like I just think that ESPN is just one of those companies for me that it's like ESPN, Viacom, CBS.
Yes.
Those two companies drive me crazy.
Those two companies are lacking content.
And I think those two companies similarly, they both try to protect their interest by being politically correct. It's not because they really believe the things that they say. ESPN is a primarily, I'm gonna be frank, white company. It's probably at the top.
Sure.
No matter who you see on the TV, the top, but their bosses, all white. Viacom, same thing. Viacom happens to own BET. Viacom also happens to own VH1.
They own Nickelodeon, right?
They own Nickelodeon. Again, it furthers my point,
right?
Because Disney is a very similar company in that way. Like it's very, very similar,
right?
Because they play to protect their interest.
So
it's not about being real. It's not about honesty. It's none of that. It's about we're gonna protect the house. I get it. But that's just not the way that I would want to do business.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no.
That's ridiculous. And
it's about politically correctness.
That's ridiculous. But I'm going to take a break.
Let's do it.
Coming up next, we're going to talk some NBA stuff. I want to get your take on this Kyrie situation.
Absolutely.
It's coming up next. It's Fish Bowl Radio. Back to the Jamie Agenda Show right here on Fishbowl Radio. So I do have one more shout out to give. I want to give a shout out. This is crazy. I want to give a shout out to my 915 Camp Gladiator crew. They told me to give me a shout out. So there's your shout out, ladies. Thank you. Now, Kyrie was traded on Sunday. It broke the internet. Everybody was like, "Oh, we got Kyrie! Yay! Kyrie's going to lead us to the championship." Let's pump the brakes for a second, okay? What brings Kyrie brings a lot of baggage, like any other relationship. It's like it's no different. It's whether it's good baggage or bad baggage. Kyrie brings in a lot more interesting baggage than good baggage. So with that being said, he got traded to along with Markieff Morris, that's another big deal too, to the Mavericks for Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith and a couple of draft picks. What are we doing here, Mavericks? Why did you trade your best guard opposite Luka? Spencer Dinwiddie was that dude. Dorian Finney-Smith will go grab every offensive rebound and put it back with a putback dunk. He was your hustler guy. And anytime you needed a corner three, he was right there. Now you don't have that guy. You don't have that. And so it's going to help the Nets because the Nets need it. But Kyrie, like I said on Facebook on Sunday, and I said this, Gabe, I said this on Sunday. I said 50-50. It's going to be Luka and Kyrie handling the basketball. Somebody, and I talked about sacrifice on the last break. I said somebody's got to be willing to sacrifice, and I'm talking about ball handling. Is it either going to be Kyrie or Luka? Someone's got to be a scorer. Both players can do that, but I feel like Luka needs to do that as well. I feel like Luka needs to do that more because he's a lot better scorer than Kyrie is. I
will say, to that point,
yes,
I think Luka is a very similar stylistic player to LeBron.
Okay.
Not necessarily from an athleticism standpoint, but just the style of play.
Yeah.
I think it'll work out well. I just think that I think it'll work out well.
Championship?
I'm not gonna say that.
Kendrick Perkins and Stephen A are saying that.
They gotta relax. Now I do think there's championship potential. Don't get me wrong on that front. I do think that there's championship potential. If Kyrie is gonna come here, I don't know why I said go there. Like I'm not in Dallas. Yeah, if he's gonna come here and do what Kyrie has done prior to being in Brooklyn, then yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
But I think that that's gonna be the case? No. I think that Kyrie there's gonna be some days where he's frustrated and he doesn't want to play. There's going to be some days where he may have to sit out because of his religious beliefs, like he did in Brooklyn.
That's the star. Those are key stars.
Yeah,
those are key stars to the point where I'm not celebrating. I think it's a good move. It's not a great move. It's a good move.
I think it gets them closer than they were.
It does,
because you got to think in the West is stacked. Even from the top to the bottom, it's stacked. There's good teams across the board. You run into the wrong team on the wrong day, you're gonna lose. And that's just the nature of the West right now. The West is incredible.
I would say, yeah, it's incredible. I will say that there's a couple of threats in the West. A couple. I'm not even gonna say Memphis because they're dramatic, and they haven't played.
Memphis is gonna fold.
Yes,
they're gonna fold.
You know why?
They're not disciplined enough right now. They're too young.
You know why? Because you got. Because here's the thing. Dylan Brooks fights everyone that he comes across with. First of all, Dylan Brooks, you can't fight with Shannon Sharp. You're not on his level. And matter of fact, you're not even on anybody else's level. You're just a player taking a roster spot. And I can say that honestly because he annoys me as a player.
He's not a great player.
He's not.
Just from a basketball standpoint,
right?
I don't see Dillon Brooks like he's too loud to be that trash. And okay, trash is a strong word,
dude.
But he's not great. Like look, when I say not great, all the NBA players are great in their own right, right? Mm-hmm. You can't get to the NBA without being a great player. Mm. From an NBA standpoint, he's not great on the NBA level.
No, he's not.
And so he does some things well. Don't get me wrong. He plays good defense. He's that agitator type, that Lance Stevenson type.
Okay.
But at least he's trying to become that.
At least he's trying to.
Yeah. So I do think that there are some things that he does well, but it's just not. For him to be as loud as he is,
he's very loud. He's very loud, but he's not willing to fight.
No,
that's the thing.
He's a talker, and he's a talker.
He is, and
that's cool. That's cool if that's how you want to move. But regardless, I think Memphis will fold. I think as a team, they got a lot of it's just not
immature guys.
It's a lot of immaturity.
A
lot of immaturity.
Like from. It starts with
John Morant. Win a championship. You need there's not a real veteran presence on that team.
There is not.
Like you need that person that's really gonna be.
Mm-hmm. They got rid of their veterans
to tell you, like, bro, you're doing too much. Sit down.
Right.
Like every great team has had that.
Like it's like a Kyle Anderson who went to Minnesota. Yeah. You need those type of guys that need to sit you down and say. You don't need to sit down, and
that's what JJ Redick was for a lot of those teams.
Oh, he was on. Yeah, he was.
He was that veteran presence, especially later in his career.
He was.
I could think of a lot of guys that played that role. Vince Carter played that role in Atlanta. You need that. Udonis Haslem.
Udonis Haslem, exactly.
He may not even play in the game at all, but he's another coach on the court. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different. You need that going into the playoffs and trying to make a splash and go deep in the playoffs.
Exactly.
So I don't see them going anywhere. No. They're playing well right now, but I don't see them going anywhere.
They have lost 8 of the last 9 games. Like there's one situation, and this is where you really need to grow up, John Morant. There's a situation where in Indiana. I keep thinking a couple of his friends pointed a laser at the Pacers, their players, their team, their players, fans, and all that stuff. It wasn't John Morant. It was the person that he was with during the game. Well, after the game, sorry.
You know the crazy part, too? I think we just don't be putting it in perspective. Like, these dudes are like 20, 21 years old.
Yes.
Like, there's a lot of... Like, especially when you were one and done out of college, like,
especially when
you're still a kid. Like, at the end of the day, you're still a kid.
Exactly.
And you're going to do childish things. Like,
and that was more than child. That could have, it got to the point where it banned one of his family members from the stadium for a year. And I'm like, why don't you just ban them for life? I mean, I understand he's family to you, but why you just ban him for life? He was the one that pointed that I don't know, if it was a gun, laser, who knows? You got it. Like, you got to cut those people off. That's what I'm saying. Like, those guys, if those guys see you, and another thing is, if they see you make it out of hostile conditions, then they want a piece of that. You know, like they may not make it to the NBA or the NFL or the MLB, but they'll find a way to get where you're at. You know,
that's true.
Like, so, like, for example, KD, I don't know if his brother's still feeding off him. His brother's feeding off him, off KD.
LeBron, it was his mom.
Right.
Like, his mom. I ain't heard nothing from Miss Gloria.
No. The last time we heard of her was in Cleveland. I think that was around 2009 or 2010.
Yeah, it was after that Delonte West stuff.
So with that being said, you gotta cut them off, and that's the culture of
And LeBron didn't cut his mom off.
He did not.
He just silenced her in a way. Kept her out of the media.
If that's the best thing you have to do, then you have to do it.
Yeah.
You have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it really starts with when fame happened, when Morant signed his $200 million contract. Now you're seeing his father get involved.
Mm-hmm.
His father, T. Morant, I like their family.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, his sister's a ball player. I think
Really?
I don't remember her name, but I don't remember. She's going to college somewhere, but I don't remember where. I don't remember her name. I don't remember her college, but she's going to college.
No, okay.
She's a great player.
Okay.
So, but anytime there's an issue on the court, he's always the first person there. When Shannon Sharp had this issue, I didn't mean to deviate to Kyrie's situation for a second. When T. Morant was there, he was trying to get into it with Shannon Sharp because all the players on the Memphis side were protecting Dylan Brooks. Now, first of all, Shannon's right here. Dylan's on the other side of the court. Why is it that you couldn't come to the man and talk to him? You had to have your army of guys to protect you. Like Steven Adams, you're not going to get past him. The little security guard that they had, that Memphis had, this is how the team needs to grow up. You need to hire better security on the road. That little security guard, and by the way, he got taken out by Dylan Brooks. When Donovan Mitchell was fighting with Dylan Brooks in the game last week, he got taken out. Like, dude, y'all need to hire better security. Like, seriously.
Yeah,
Like, no. I'm sorry. No. And his father is like, dude, I want a piece of this. Like, T. Morant, dude, you did your job.
And I like to see it live, man.
I
think that situation, I wasn't there, so it's hard for me to speak on what really took place.
I wasn't there. I just
think that situation went way further than it needs to. Nobody was about to fight nobody, and y'all just doing the most. Like, everybody sit down. Not one punch was thrown.
Right.
Not like I get tired of all that goofy stuff in the NBA and in sports period. Like, y'all are not about to fight.
No.
Y'all are not street. Y'all not even cut like that. Half of y'all can't fight. Y'all would get knocked out in any other situation. So stop it. Like, I'm not a person who does a lot of talking.
No.
I don't like all that back and forth.
No.
I don't do all of that. No.
You don't do all that.
If we got a problem, we're going to handle that. Like,
you don't like that, all that clapping, all that stuff?
No. Like, dude.
The pumping up stuff. Like, when you get, like, when you score a basket at the end of the game, like, there's players ready to fight. Like, dude, where's that fight in the game?
Right.
You got blown out.
And that's the thing. Like, I just don't understand where that came from. Like, where? Because even back in the day when they used to fight and stuff, it wasn't a lot of talking. It was like, you fouled me hard, I'm throwing you on the ground. Like,
throwing you on the ground.
It's not. There's no talking. Like,
right.
It's that's the difference. I think we live in it again. It's the sports, music, entertainment, it all goes where the culture goes.
Right.
And we're in a very mouthy society right now. We're in a very opinionated society.
Like you said.
Like, nobody's going to do anything, but they like to talk like they will.
Right. And Shannon got off his $1 million self for a second there.
Yeah.
He went back to his old roots. And he was like, and I'm glad he apologized, where Dylan Brooks did not. And so Dylan Brooks is a clown for not apologizing.
Dylan Brooks is a clown whether he apologized or not.
Yeah, he is.
Because he's just goofy to me. I'm not a Dylan Brooks fan at all.
I'm not either.
I think
his best days were in college, and even that I thought he would never come out the way he was. And Memphis has to deal with that. That's another team that you have to. I'm not afraid of them. I'm not afraid of them because they lack, like you said, they lack maturity, and
maturity and discipline are what wins championships.
The coach is not doing anything about it. Taylor, what's his last name? I can't remember his last name, but Taylor something. He's not going to do anything about it. Like, he's young himself. He ain't gonna do anything about it. You come from a Pop tree. Pop teaches you discipline. Like, dude, you should implement that to your young team. You're not doing that. I almost said Taylor Heineke, but that's not him. That's not.
It's definitely not Taylor.
It's definitely not Taylor Heineke as the coach. It's not. His name was Taylor, so
Yeah.
So this is ridiculous. But Kyrie situation.
Yes.
So you're saying, so I already told you that Stephen A. and Kendrick are saying NBA Finals. Mm-hmm. I'm saying semifinals. I tell people semifinals. You know why? Because they haven't addressed the defensive floor. They can't play defense.
Yeah.
That's my main calling, Gabe. Like I don't like teams giving up 100 points a game.
Yeah.
I don't like teams getting out of position. Neither of those guys are defensive players. Now, you can say Marcus Morris is a defensive player. He's a physical player.
Yeah.
I just wish they have playing time for him.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to have playing time for him, you got to get rid of JaVale McGee. Because JaVale McGee, at this point, he's just a cheerleader.
He takes up space. And I think
he takes up space.
Because that's kind of what even the Lakers used him for. Like when he was with us when we went to the bubble.
Right.
So I think, him and Dwight Howard, players like that, they're at the twilight of their career and they're bouncing around just getting a check, and they take up space, and that's really what they do. And I think on the defensive side, taking up space is good. On the offensive side, not so much.
No, not so much because you can't
spread the floor.
You can't spread the floor. You can't fit on offense. And Dwight Powell spreads the floor because of his wing.
Even though I'm not a Dwight Powell fan either.
I'm sorry?
I'm not a Dwight Powell fan either.
I know you're not. Why?
Like you said, I'm not.
I kind of do.
Why? Why do you think that?
Why? I want to hear from you. Why are you not the Dwight Powell fan?
I don't like soft big men.
Okay.
I really don't. Like, I have a very big pet peeve about soft big men.
Okay.
And Dirk was like that too for me. That's why I never was really a Dirk fan.
I wasn't a Dirk fan either. He was a soft either. He was soft on defense.
Very, very just gooey butter soft. Like, I just don't like you allow too much stuff to get into the paint. Like I grew up watching in the power forward era, like where it was Kevin Garnett who was gonna foul like Rasheed Wallace.
Right.
Like they're gonna foul you. Like you're gonna have to earn your points. Like that's the big men that I'm used to, and I think the NBA doesn't have that. So it's harder to watch for me personally.
Right. The Mavericks will never have that, and
the Mavericks have never had it. Like they don't go for those type of big men.
They don't.
Tyson Chandler was the closest thing they got.
Yep. Maxi Kleber is not one of the biggest mans, but I feel like they should move him. He's been hurt. He hasn't played in the last 2 months.
Yeah, and
so he's been hurt, and they've been hurting for some frontline guys, and Marcus Morris is a frontline guy. So, but yeah, I'm not. I agree with you to that point. I always thought that Dwight Powell can defend some of the biggest men out there. He can't defend JaVale McGee or Jokic, for that matter. But he's like a pick and roll guy that just dives to the basket and picks up a lot of fouls.
He has a lot of like Rudy Gobert type.
It is not his. It's not his fault. It's because Luka doesn't play defense. Kyrie ain't going to play defense on this team.
No.
Spencer did play defense on this team.
He did.
Even when he scored 30 points.
So did Dorian. Dorian's probably one of my favorite defenders on the Mavericks.
Dude, you got to understand that they got rid of. This is not a good trade. It's a good trade for Brooklyn's sake because they got what they wanted.
And I'm gonna tell you, I'm not gonna say it wasn't a good trade because I do think Kyrie is worth those two players if he's gonna be Kyrie. If you're getting Kyrie of Cleveland and early Boston, then you got a shot. This is an incredible deal. If you're not, if you're getting Brooklyn Kyrie, it's not going to go well. It's not going to be worth it. It's just not. So you're really, the success of this trade is really dependent on Kyrie's availability.
You're gonna take a risk.
That's it.
You take that risk trading Kyrie.
Yeah,
You
I
taking
would.
that risk?
I would, because I've seen
You would?
the level of Kyrie's talent.
Okay.
I've seen who he is talent wise.
Mm-hmm.
Even when he's been on the court in Brooklyn, he's been balling.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying. Like we know who Kyrie is.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the best point guards in the league when he's available.
Keyword.
When he's available.
When he's available.
The same thing I said about Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is different because he's made of glass.
Right.
And so I'm just saying.
I mean, you're right.
Yeah, Anthony Davis is made of glass. I
Right.
think that anytime that Anthony Davis is on the court, he can give you 30, 35 points with ease. No thought. And he's going to give you the same energy on the defensive end. But it's going to take one play. He's going to have a fluke injury that takes him out for 3 weeks. And then now, I'm telling you, like, the duo of LeBron and AD could work. And I digress a little bit. But I do think that duo has worked, and it can still work, but it's about availability.
Right.
Same thing with Kyrie and Luka. It's going to be the same situation
Because Luka's hurt right now. Luka, we don't know when he's coming back.
Yeah.
And Kyrie's going to play tomorrow night in LA against the Clippers. And so, with that being said, you don't have any more excuses.
No.
You don't have and I told someone this yesterday. Because we were talking about how many games Kyrie's going to play. Not this game that just played last night. They won the game last night against Utah, in Utah.
Yeah.
And so, but we got, 26 games left?
Something like that.
Okay. So, for me personally, I see him playing, I see him missing 6 games. Reason being,
like he can't afford to miss 6 games from a team chemistry standpoint.
from a team chemistry, he can't. And here's what I'm saying. Here's what I will accept. I will accept injury. That's the only thing I will accept.
Yeah.
Now, Dallas is a big place. There's a lot of things that goes on. The 2 things I won't accept: rest, and if they consider it personal. Personal can mean other things.
Yeah.
Rest is just rest. I won't accept rest at all. I'm not accepting rest. I'm not, because you did that so many times in Brooklyn. You should be ready to play. I'm sorry. I agree with Stephen A. on this part. Show up to work. I agree with him on that. I don't hate Jay Williams. I don't like the fact that he's protecting Kyrie on everything that he's done. I don't like that at all. If you have a special relationship with him, then yes, I can understand.
So listen.
Okay.
I've heard Jay Will talk about Kyrie. The reason why he defends Kyrie the way that he does is because of how hard Stephen A. went on Kyrie.
Yes.
Stephen A. went at Kyrie as if he wasn't talking about somebody that looked like him.
Oh, really?
Like, when he was during the whole situation when there was just a bunch of drama and he was calling Kyrie stupid, it was very disrespectful the way that Stephen A. was talking about Kyrie. So that's the reason why I do agree with Jay Will. Not now, because at this point it's time to relax and stop defending him. It's like, we see what it is. But at that time when he first started, he got on the Kyrie bandwagon and he rode with that narrative. Again, going back to the ESPN conversation, it's all about narratives.
Yeah.
At ESPN, they roll with a certain narrative. Even Stephen A. He rolls with his cowboy hate.
Right.
That's a part of his brand.
Right.
Like, everybody has something that is a part of their brand that builds and grows.
That builds ESPN up.
Exactly. So Jay Will, I think he leaned into that Kyrie support thing because at the time it was needed, because Stephen A. and other people were going way too hard way too hard because it wasn't even warranted at that time. He really may have had some life stuff going on. Like, we discounted the idea that maybe like he needed a break. Like the same thing that Naomi Osaka did. Like she's like, I need a break. Like mentally, I'm not there.
Right.
Like,
but
and it's okay to say that sometimes.
It
so
is.
I think we need to stop looking at these athletes and entertainers like robots.
Right.
Because they're not that. Like, they're
not
humans. And so that's why Jay Will came to the defense of Kyrie in the beginning.
But
so now I agree with you.
Yes.
Too far. You got to relax. Right. We know this. He's made excuses because he didn't want to be in Brooklyn. That's the bottom line. He was tired. He wanted to trade last year.
Right.
He wanted to trade last offseason.
KD wanted that same thing too, but they didn't pull the plug.
Yeah.
And so, but going back to the mental stuff, and I get it. I get why it's there. I get why, first of all, Naomi's not going to play till 2024. She's going to have a baby. I get that. But at the same time, when you want a break, you don't go to a party. You don't show yourself at your sister's party. Well, I mean, it's family. I can understand that. Yeah. But you don't have the camera. Keep that private. To me, if you listen, go do whatever you want. If you want to break, you want to go to someone's party, fine. But don't bring the attention to yourself. That's my biggest thing, right? Like with these celebrities. I don't want. Y'all can do whatever you want. Y'all can say whatever you want, but just don't have a camera in front of you.
And I agree with you, but that's the nature of our culture.
I understand.
I think we're in such a, if we didn't see it, it didn't happen type of mentality. And so everything has to be posted. Everything has to be live. I got to do, if I'm angry at somebody that's in the industry, I'm going to go on a live and tell everybody about it so they can be angry too.
Those people, Gabe, it's like 50-50. It's going to be like,
me, I have very low tolerance for that. Like, I'm not cut from that. Like, I don't come from, if I got an issue with somebody, I'm going to handle that issue directly with that person behind closed doors. Face to face. I'm not that guy. And so, granted, that's slightly a sidebar from the Kyrie situation, but yeah, everything is posted.
Right.
It doesn't matter if he didn't even have to post it. It wasn't even him. It was a relative. So that's the thing.
It was a relative.
You be excited to see your people. You so in the camera, like doing all this. Yeah, my cousin XY Kyrie doing this. Like, you know what I'm saying. So I get it. Do handle your business. Do what you got to do. Exactly. I'm in support of artists, athletes, entertainers, everybody getting what they need for themselves.
Exactly.
It's personal.
Right.
This is a career. It's not. You're not an object.
Right. Exactly.
You're not an object.
You're not an object.
It's like going to the jewelry store and looking at all of these diamonds. We can't treat celebrity like the diamonds in the glass case.
They're not. And we gotta treat them. We gotta treat them like human beings. And so I do think this is going to work out. I do fear that we live in Dallas. This is not Cleveland or Boston for that matter, and it's definitely not Brooklyn. And so we have a lot of distractions. We don't know if we
got more distractions in Brooklyn though.
Well, probably not. We don't have. Well, the Cowboys are not playing anymore. Baseball's about to come up, and then you know, Valentine's Day is about to come up too. So
hockey,
there's hockey, yeah. So there's a lot of parties, and so so that to me is what my issue is. Now, on the court, I have a little bit of issue with somebody sacrificing. Does Luka become a scorer now? Or does Kyrie say, you know what, I'm going to score? But Kyrie, like you said, when he's available, he can give you buckets.
Yeah.
The available is those three key words, when he's available. Those are key words to Kyrie. Every single night in a Mavericks uniform.
Yeah.
And Luka is hurt right now. You don't have anybody else. It kind of showed last night up until the fourth quarter, right? Josh Green went off for 29 points. Okay, he's rising. Guys like Jaden Hardy, he's a rookie. Guys like McKinley Wright, the little one, 5'11". Maybe you can, maybe a Reggie Bullock, maybe can get their minutes cut. The reason why I say Reggie Bullock because of Markieff Morris. They're not going to go with 4 guards. And Christian Wood just came back last night, which I saw. Yeah. And that's another player that might be moved. Tim Hardaway might be moved as well. So the Mavericks they may not be done trading.
They may not be. They may have another move in the tuck. I don't know for who and like what move that would be. Because I don't know exactly what they need. I'm gonna be honest. Like I don't know what would be beneficial to them that could potentially be available.
Well, Christian Wood has not signed his contract, so he has a 2-year contract on the table, and he was supposed to sign it by Thursday, and he's probably not going to sign it because he wants more years. And this is a guy that's 28 years old. Like he gave you off the bench play before he got hurt. So this is going to be interesting.
And Christian Wood was in Houston before, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't play defense.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He doesn't play defense at all.
He's never played defense.
No.
Defense. Also, that's another thing too. Defense is a foreign concept in the NBA today. Defense is a foreign concept. You can win a championship without playing defense. Now the best defensive team will win.
Did you tell that to Milwaukee and Boston? That's why they're leaders in the East.
Yeah, exactly. Like they don't. The concept of defense is so skewed because of the athletic ability and the speed of the game, but 2 because everybody is shooter happy. It's a shooter happy league, so you can only defend so much.
That's why you see guys go. That's why you see guys go 6 for 18, right?
Exactly.
That's why you see guys go 5 for 20. That's why you see teams go 5 from 30 from 3. That's why every announcer that says when you're down by 2, you need a 3.
Yeah.
When you're down by 8, your 3-point percentage is off. You don't hit 30% of your threes. Every announcer from high school to college to basketball. I hear it all. They look at the main stat, 3-point percentage. If you're not shooting over 35% game, you lose the game.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's what I'm saying. And when I say shooter, it's not even just about threes. It's a mid-range game. Like it's like jump shot. It's a jump shot league. Ain't no more driving to the hole. Dude, it's rare. Like that's why LeBron is still so dominant, though.
Right.
If we're being honest, the league has allowed him to be as dominant as he was when he first got in the league, because they don't play real defense. They play the shot.
They don't play real defense.
They play the shot. They play the jumper. That's all that they do. So, you can win without being so front loaded on the defensive end. You need a 3-and-D guy that can get you a bucket on the offensive end, but also play D. Good enough on the ball defense.
Not even going to be Kyrie or Luka.
And I think Kyrie is decent. I think he's good enough to
on the defensive end, but the offensive end they're great.
Yeah,
I feel like the Mavericks will upgrade their scoring a little bit.
Yeah, and they're gonna have to outscore. They're gonna outscore teams. They're gonna outscore teams. Like I think now, I will say, Kyrie does have this ball dominant mentality at times.
That's what I'm saying.
And I think that because he's an older star, he does have that. It's like a veteran thought process. It's like one of those things where it's like, if it comes down to it, I want that shot.
That's what I'm saying.
And that could be problematic. It could be, but it may not be. You never know. It's going to be very interesting to see. I'll be watching it.
I'll be watching it too.
I'm very curious to see how they gel together. But Luka is a very similar player to LeBron when it comes to his mentality and how he approaches basketball. Like it might even be beneficial to put Luka at the 1 and have Kyrie play the 2. and then
Oh God.
and then let Kyrie be the scorer.
Okay.
I mean, Luka still will get his buckets. Don't get it twisted.
Yeah,
Luka still get his buckets from the one spot.
I mean-
but the thing about it, he's a pass first player anyway.
Jason Kidd would have to work that out then, because
Yeah.
for me,
What would you prefer?
God.
And we got to wrap it up soon.
Okay. Oh, I gotta announce the name real quick.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I will prefer Kyrie play the one, because I feel like he's more of a good ball handler than Luka. Luka turns the ball over too much, so I want Kyrie to bring the ball down the court more than Luka does. That's why I said sacrifice.
Gotcha.
50-50. So
Gotcha. I think it worked well with, like, in the Cleveland series when LeBron was at the one and Kyrie was playing the two. Like, I think it worked out well because LeBron had control of the offense. It was more than just Kyrie getting buckets. And I think Luka has that same gene, that same passer, that similar to Magic Johnson type of mentality. You know, I think it'll work better with Luka staying at the one and then Kyrie playing the two.
okay.
Is my
I
opinion.
like that. Okay, well, that's before we end this, and I appreciate you, Gabe. Thank
Absolutely.
you for all your expertise.
Absolutely.
Now, we're changing the title of this show, guys. So it won't be my name anymore. I want to give you some 3 choices. I've been debating this for the last 2 to 3 weeks, because I know I look at other people's, I was like, how can I get that? If you want something, you invest, you get it back. So my 3 choices is Beyond the Game podcast with myself. Number 2 is Sports Jiving with Jamie. And number 3 is The Gap. You like those choices?
Great choices.
Okay. So we don't have John Rowe, do we? No.
No, we don't.
Okay. You like this one. And I think everybody else will like it too.
Okay.
I've been debating this throughout the whole entire week. By the way, Cynthia, I love you. I love your family. She was the one that chose the second one,
Okay.
and so I just want to give her flowers.
Okay.
And so, but Beyond the Game, I'm gonna call it that one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I love it.
The reason being is because thank you. The reason being is because it's a deeper aspect to the game. We're still going to break down the games and all that stuff, but it's deeper than that. Like, what is in these players' heads that we have never seen before. We're hoping to have a guest come on and disguise that, talk about that. Not only a guest, but just overall the games. Like, what happened in this game? What can Dak do better, or what can Luka do better? What can Kyrie do better as well? What can Jason Kidd do better as a coach? So that's why Beyond the Game podcast, this is where it's going to be, and this is what it is, guys. I hope you guys can tune in next week, because we're going to definitely talk about the Super Bowl and how did Kyrie do against. We're going to talk about the next 5 games, because they got the Clippers, 2 against the Kings, and 1 against Minnesota. So let's talk about it next week, guys. It's Fishbowl Radio. It's Jamie Genti, and you're listening to Beyond the Game podcast.